Everyone, it's the Libertarian advisor, and all morning, and I guess really for the past couple months, I've just been surrounded by so much evilness. And apologize if you guys can't hear me that well. I'm on top of a little mountain right here in beautiful Arizona, so just give a little panorama over there. But I just kind of have to get away from everything because I see. I'm out here, writing articles about Hillary Clinton dealing with Satanism, Podesta dealing with Satanism. Last night did a Facebook Live where I started talking about child pedophilia, and these are pretty crazy subjects. And I was never really anybody that ever talked too much about God, and gone through my own struggles in life. But once I started studying how the Federal Reserve worked, and then started studying the elite, one thing that became apparent to me was that the ultra elite were just fascinated with the most disgusting behavior, or deplorable, as Hillary would say, that you could possibly imagine. And right now this is all just free-flowing thought. I've got no notes, no teleprompters, obviously. Just finished running, well, not finished, but halfway through. But one common theme that kept occurring was that the ultra elite, whether you believe in God or not, is really, irrelevant, because the ultra elite believe in Satanism. I mean, and nothing, crystallizes this more than the Podesta leaks that just came out, which, I'm sure all of you have seen it by now, or if you haven't, just check out my blog at thelibertarianadvisor.com, go to Drudge Report, go to InfoWars, Google Podesta, Wikileaks, Satanism, or spirit dinner, I think is what you'd actually want to refer to. And we've got a lot of sick fucks running things, and apologize, I just swore there. But last night when I was doing the Facebook Live, I had people criticizing me for swearing. Well, I can talk about things like Denny Hasser effing little boys, and people will get more mad at me for saying fuck than getting mad at Denny Hasser for fucking little boys. I mean, that's part of this mind control that we're under, where if your biggest problem with me is that the biggest gripe of the day is that you had to hear the F word from me, then I could probably think of about 1 billion other people you should be criticizing, particularly the people that are hurting the innocents, hurting the youth, people that are going to these satanic rituals, people that are doing child sacrifice. We've got the ultra elite at Bohemian Grove, ritualizing mock child sacrifice. You've got I forgot her name, it was like Maria Abranovich, kind of sounds like witch, over here, getting people into, and kind of inducting them into the occult. And you've got guys like Jay-Z worshiping her. You've got I think Lady Gaga talking about how great she is. Hillary is tied to her as well. And it's just absolutely disgusting that we're ruled by these people. And at this point, whether you believe in God or not, I don't want to be ruled by Satanists. I just don't. But I've seen God in my life. But I don't really talk about it too much, because I've got a hard enough time convincing people of things that, I can talk about how Hillary Clinton's mentor, Saul Alinsky, wrote a book dedicated to Lucifer, and people think I'm full of shit when I provide them the links where it says it. So if I can't convince people of that, then it's hard to me to convince people of talking snakes. And that's another thing is we've got a lot of Christians out there who who are very good people, and they don't want to believe that there's evil in this world. But the only reason there's evil is because good men and women do nothing. So I'm out here trying to do something, and probably part of the reason why I swear is because I used basically the money I was going to use to buy a brand new mountain bike, a Trek Fuel EX8, and ended up using that money to basically launch this. And the fact that bitch has a 50-50 chance of winning after all this, I think, like I said yesterday in the Facebook Live, that the cat's out of the bag. There's no walking this stuff back. The stuff's probably only going to get more hardcore, especially once the Epstein stuff comes out, which that was one of the first. I gotta watch my step here. I got some fucking jagged rocks. This is prime ankle twisting area over here, but just want to kind of give you guys some more panorama of these beautiful vistas. But one of the very first memes I made, and I'm going to be looking down here where I walk, was actually of Jeffrey Epstein, who was the financial advisor who set up the Clinton Foundation, and he bragged about setting it up. I mean, that's not a disputed fact. So you've got, Epstein, who had, his, private sex island where all the ultra elite, and I can't remember the name of the prince that was over there. I don't know if it was Prince Edward or it wasn't Prince Charles, but actually let's talk about Prince Charles. It's on the latest blog post I have, a video all the way down at the end, and this sounds crazy, but Prince Charles actually on video brags about how he's a direct descendant of Lastest, or Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula, as he's better known as. And that sounds batshit crazy. Like, I'm not some retard over here who doesn't realize that if I say things like that, people are gonna think I'm crazy. But you know what? Go to the video, YouTube it yourself. It's not like I made this up. Type in Prince Charles Dracula Romania, and you can get him talking about bragging about the fact that they're related to Dracula. And you've got the whole royal family that helped set up the Royal Bank of England. And if you want to get into that whole story, kind of the cliff notes of that is you've got you had basically the trying to think of the guy's name is Mayor Nathan Bauer, who had a red shield on his door, used to be a goldsmith. What happened with him was he ended up teaming up with the Oppenheimer family. The red door on his business, or it actually was a red shield, and red shield in German was Rothschild. That's where you get the Rothschild family. The Oppenheimers told him it would be more beneficial to actually lend to governments versus lending to, actually just one second here. I lost my black version of these, so now I've got the douchebag looking version of these Ray-Bans. But the Oppenheimer family said, hey, you gotta lend money to governments. That's where all the money's at. So they ended up lending money to, actually it was a German prince that lent them money to then buy English bonds during the Napoleonic War. They found out that Napoleon had lost, spread a rumor Napoleon had won, sent the British stock market down to nothing, and the money that should have went to the German prince, they gave him back the money plus the interest, but they had the real sum of the money because they ended up using that money to buy up the entire fucking British stock market. He had 6 sons, sent those 6 sons all over Europe, Vienna, Rome, Frankfurt, you name it, to then create central banks all around the world. They teamed up with the royal family, which name isn't Windsor. I think they changed that name around 1921-ish. I forgot whoever that stuttering king was. He was the one I think that changed it, but the real name was Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, and the real reason we're in this financial slavery is today, kind of all stems from that. And again, this is all off shit I've read, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So it's not like I'm sitting around here, reading off a teleprompter saying this, but that's an extreme Cliff Notes version of things. But we're ruled by bad people, and until you've got guys like me standing up and pointing it out, this is going to keep continuing. But I think that we're reaching a point now where we're seeing, I think it was Ernest Hancock who said that we're reaching peak tyranny, when I was talking about I hope we're reaching peak centralization or peak government, because the answer is to decentralize everything. The answer is to, if you can keep things at a local level, then you can then have the power to change things. But if you have everything centralized, then, you get to the point where the people that want to control people, the people that want to dominate people, are the people that want to rise up through the ranks to dominate your life. And nothing is more clear than when you read the emails. And the other thing is, these are leaks from one guy, John Podesta. I mean, can you even imagine the treasure trove of stuff that's in the other, everyone else's emails? I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And when you see, liberals talk about, hey, Donald Trump is, a racist, misogynist, homophobe, and Hillary just said some bad things in her emails. I mean, not said bad things. I mean, they've been actually saying, she just used the wrong email. I mean, it's about what's in her email, what's in her email are emails from Sidney Blumenthal talking about invading Libya to protect France and America's monetary interest, because Gaddafi was going to have his own African-based currency, and you can't have that because you can't print. Actually, they were going to have an African-based currency based on gold. So if you could if you can print dollars out of thin air, but you can't print gold out of thin air, then that's gonna be pretty tough to take their resources. So can't have that. You know, that was in her emails. And so with Wiener's 650,000 emails, you know, I'm guessing all of it wasn't yoga and, you know, whatever else she said, you know, conversations with Chelsea. So this is, you know, all this is starting to unfold. Everyone's starting to see the fraud, and I think it's, you know, I can take a big victory, and I think everyone, you know, needs to, you know, just realize that, you know, a lot of good stuff is happening, and, you know, we need to, you know, appreciate those around us. You know, no one's ever a prophet in their own village. I mean, I've got my own, you know, family members who, you know, some of them think I'm crazy, although day by day, everything I say, you know, more and more stuff, you know, is true. I've got my own wife who's not even, you know, not even voting. I've got, you know, my brother who's, you know, big time Bernie Sanders. So, you know, for a lot of you out there who are, you know, feeling discouraged, you know, just realize that, you know, a lot of us, you know, who are on the right, you know, we have good jobs, so we can't say this stuff, or we, you know, we don't want to sound crazy. Oh shit, it's had some big bug on me. Actually, I saw 3 black widows today and a black spider when I was on this trail so far, so I'm a little jumpy. But anyways, you know, that's kind of the end of my rant. You know, no one's ever a prophet in their own village. You know, we're doing a good job fighting this, and you know, let's keep up the good work. It's gonna be a crazy next 4 days, and can't wait to see what's unraveling, and stay deplorable.